Turning now to parenting advice. We all want to raise compassionate, kind, and anti-racist children. But what are the first steps, and how early should we start this conversation?
So our next guest has spent 30 years teaching diversity and inclusion. Dr. Traci Baxley is a professor of education and mother of 5 biracial kids. And she's also the author of the new book, Social Justice Parenting. Traci, thank you so much for joining us today and for being on the show.
Good afternoon.
The name of your book, Social Justice Parenting. Why did you decide to write this book? And tell us about this lofty topic you're taking on.
Yes. First of all, social justice parenting is really just a way that we can intentionally and purposefully raise children who are more kind and compassionate and who believe in really the power of activism and building community. And it requires us as parents really to move through our own fears, through self-reflection, through open dialogue, to really begin to unlearn some of the things that we've learned as adults that no longer serve us as parents. And I think I wrote this book really for parents who really feel the gravity of raising kids in a world that can be sometimes beautiful and joyful, but sometimes it can be complex and really kind of unjust. And I wanted to support parents who recognize that they can no longer raise children in these silos or protected bubbles.
And, I think one of the questions that all parents ask, and is certainly a frequent question, is what is the appropriate age to start talking about these issues, start talking about social justice? So what is your answer?
My simple answer is they're never too young. And I think kids are absorbing stereotypes, prejudices, attitudes, really before they even enter grade school. And if it's fear that's really preventing you from speaking to your kids about these hard things, you really should be more afraid about the messages that they're receiving out in the world.
And to that point, to be able to lean into this when they're young, you say establishing these practices in your home early and often is key. So you give a few key strategies. And the first thing you say is to listen and be attentive. That is, I don't think enough parents think about how important it is to listen to your children.
Right, because we always want to fix it, right? We always want to give them the answers, but really, sometimes it just requires us to talk less and to resist the temptation to really find solutions for them. Instead, listen with the intent to hear and understand their feelings and giving them a chance to really kind of unpack the things that's going on inside of them. So don't jump in and try to fix the issue or find the right answer, but really just listen with the intent to hear what they have to say.
And the next tip that you have is to be honest and vulnerable.
Yeah, sometimes we are afraid to let our children know we don't have all the answers. And it's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to not know what to say next, right? That's part of the journey. And our children need to know that we don't have all the answers, so they know that they're not expected to have all the answers too. So I think being open, being vulnerable, and saying, you know what, I don't know all the answers. Maybe we can find them out together. Or remember when we talked about this last week? I've now learned some more things, and let's have another conversation around it.
And finally, you say follow up and take action. How can we do that?
Yeah, so most of these conversations regarding big events or social issues really they happen incrementally and they happen over time. So following up and taking action may look different depending on the age group or what the topic is, but sometimes following up is just really clarifying some of the misinformation or the gaps that your children may have. So you can say something like, remember last week when we were talking about injustices? Tell me what you remember. Or, I don't feel like I explained that well. Let's have that conversation again. So follow up to make sure that your children are really hearing what it is that you want them to hear. And then also, there should be some activities or action that go around your conversations. Maybe it's just reading a book to kind of unpack and process what you're seeing and what you're hearing. Or hopefully over time, you would have them to create some actions around it. Like, what can our family do to make a difference? How can we help as a family? So that you're building these habits of activism and kindness.
Dr. Traci Baxley, these are such loaded topics that can be so uncomfortable for parents to talk about with their kids, but you are providing a roadmap to help that. Thank you, and thank you so much for being here with us, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you for having me. Happy New Year to you, too.
And Social Justice Parenting can be found anywhere that books are sold.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.